Welcome to the land of Kakiak. My name is Laurel. Today is day 3 of my homeschool reset week after Christmas. And my big task for today was to get working on an updated book list. So I am looking at the existing book list that I already have. And that book list is mainly composed of my Robinson curriculum core reading book list and titles from the Easy Peasy readers, because I went ahead and went through and bought that whole collection as well. And also personal collections, so books that the kids were interested in and that we picked up that we just already have in our own home. And I wanted to include them on our official school book list. So the kids are in here with me today. Something else they're going to do for a little bit is, it was later in the day. They played most of the day, and like my oldest had to clean his room and stuff. But I did want them to come back in, and my youngest is just playing, but the older two boys, my oldest is working in his everything notebook, and my middle son was just doing some independent reading with his school book. So we're starting to warm them up that we're going to be back to school soon. Okay, so the book list itself, I just made myself a blank, table to fill in. And I'll actually share this with you in case you wanted one. I will link it for you in the description box. And I wanted to actually do it by hand because processing things a little more slowly I thought would be good for me. And honestly, also, my eyes need a break from the computer screen. So at some point I might type it up, but right now I just wanted to handwrite it. And I will say that I really, really love a really sharp pencil. So I probably sharpened that pencil like 100 times today. I should have measured it before and after. Okay, so the things that I wanted to include on my book list were the approximate reading grade level, the RC number. If it was off the RC reading list, I wanted to include that. If it was from an Easy Peasy reader, I just put the whole Easy Peasy, the whole reader, reader 4 or 5, whatever, because I didn't want to write out all the titles because I probably won't have them read all of them, but I'm not sure. And then, of course, the title and the author and a student completion box. So I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 columns, so I can write the date. I'll probably put their initials up at the top and write the date that they finished each book. So I also wanted to, just to help get myself oriented, I am writing down their reading, their math, their science, and if there was a history spine I was using that year, right at the beginning of the grade level. And I just call those my instructional or my spine books. And I made a note of that. Just kind of get myself okay, if they were approximately in this reader, then they're probably ready for these books. And the Robinson curriculum reading list is helpful for that because they actually include the McGuffey readers on inside their list. They didn't use them as I use them as lessons that they do with their kids. But they just had their kids just read them. But I could tell from their list if they had completed, reader 2 of the McGuffies, then the next books on their list, they would be good for them. So that was helpful for me in orienting my reading list. And the same with the Easy Peasy reader. So that was really easy to match up because she already had them grouped by grade approximately. So I use my subject sequences also to help me know what instructional books I was going to be using. So I will share that document with you as well. Although you'll see me today, I was even changing stuff. Every year I update that to kind of reflect what worked better, or if I changed something out, or if I thought, I should have put this book at a different grade. So you'll see me flipping back and forth between my current book list and my subject sequences to see okay, what science book was I going to use this year? What history spine was I going to use this year? That kind of stuff. I did not include on my book list my Bible resources, because we always just do those together as a family. And I'm just, yeah, it's not something that they're like doing so much independently. And also that's probably more open to change on my part. So I didn't really want to set it in stone, you know? So when I do have a spine book, let's say, like This Country of Ours or Our Island Story, I am trying to match up independent readers approximately as well with the time frames and stuff that we're working in. And so I don't think I have that down like perfectly, but it is something that I'm thinking about, and probably something I'll continue to revise as I'm working on my book list. And just a note, we do school year round, so we read a lot of books. So sometimes you get a list and people might be like, there's no way kids are going to read this many books in a year. But some of the books are really easy reads, like the Who Was, books. They could probably read those in like, a day or two. And then some of them are pretty, like the G.A. Henty books are pretty long and very vocabulary and content dense. And so those ones are read slower. So yeah, just because it's not every book requires the same amount of reading time, but like I said, we do read a lot of books when you read year round. I did the math one time. So year round homeschoolers pretty much end up doing, I think for us, I approximated about 2.5 extra years of schooling than the average K through 12 kid that's doing the traditional school schedule. So yeah, we read a lot of books. As I'm checking back my original core reading list and sequences, I am making any substitutions that I prefer. For example, I have 3 boys. So while I did definitely include some like female lead books that I thought were important, there were a lot of things that I was like, they're not going to want to read that. It's just not going to appeal to them. So things like Little Women, I switched that out for Little Men. Like I said before, I added a lot of series books. Like I did add the Secret of the Hidden Scrolls. This is for like, early elementary, and all of the Magic Treehouse books. And those books, it's nice. They have a male and female, like lead characters. So they're brothers and sisters. So that's nice. I think it gives something for both genders to see themselves in the story, I will also be including a lot of books that were off the list. They weren't in the Easy Peasy Reader and they weren't on the RC list, but because I already owned them. So I did a video, I'll link it for you below, about my favorite homeschool, like classic literature reading set. And so I will be including, those into my reading list. And I actually had to call it a night. I think I quit around, I think it was like 8:30. And I had literally been working on this for hours. And I was like, I still have so many more books to categorize and look through. I had to call it a night. But I will just pick it up tomorrow and keep going. And I'll share it with you when I'm all done.